All right, today I'm going to talk about preparing your lonely mind. Yes, your lonely mind. I got my kid's car seat in the back, if you guys are wondering. I sometimes take out this S class and I let my kids in here, but obviously my kid's not with me and I'm alone. Anyhow, working alone remotely is very lonely, and the faster you guys accept that, the faster you'll make more money and actually have zero loneliness. And that's a big thing. And the mistakes I've made was I would work really hard, and then I would take on friendships, to force my social life because I was feeling lonely and I felt like I had to force the issue. Well, what I realized was a lot of those friends were actually just drinking buddies, right? And then so when I got comfortable with being alone is when I really thrived, because it gave me a chance to use my free time to think and to plan better. And the result was totally a new me. My energy changed. I actually started attracting the people in my life that I really wanted. And working remotely, it's like astronauts in space. Can you breathe in space? I know that sounds crazy. Can you breathe in space? But you can't, not without, a technology spacesuit. You can't. And so what I realized is that working remotely seems cool, but the technology, without it, you can't really talk. And introducing technology is because you're trying to overcome the simple things that we take for granted, because that's just how we've been programmed since the human species, came on the planet. So what ended up happening was the progression of realizing that, hey, technology is actually very new to the human species right now, relative to our time frame. And so a lot of people are struggling because it's introducing so many variances. So I'll give you an example. Hello, can you hear me now? Do you ever say that to a person that you're sitting in front of or talking, face to face at a distance of maybe, 3 to 5, feet or 10 feet? No, you only do that when you're teleconferencing, and that's the thing is that's the body language you can't read and all this other, side stuff. And so you see where I'm going with this, right? It's just a simple, hey, can you hear me now, has turned into complete disaster because there's a lot of assumptions being made. And so there's nobody to read that language, and you can't see what the person's doing. You can't see how dialed in they are to you. And that's just something as a human species we haven't had to deal with or be programmed to operate under. So what do we do? Filling this with so much technology, that it makes you feel like what you're doing something. So when you're using all these other apps, you feel like, oh, I'm progressing, I'm using this and I'm using that. You're not. You're just complicating your world even further. So that's what I'm going to talk about, in some other videos, is how to avoid that situation, and also how to be comfortable with being lonely, because there's nothing worse than a false sense of security with your current state of mind when you're working remote. So you know why people say they love working remotely? Like, I hear it all the time. It's because it's like a fashion statement. No one can validate it, and it's always new. So no matter how bad it is, it makes them feel good, and it makes them feel good saying it, because it makes them look good. So But that doesn't solve the problem, which is, when you accept that working remotely is freaking hard, then you will truly adapt to the truth of it. And that's where I can help you learn what caused me to lose my hair. See my hair right there? I lost it. Literally, working remotely. Yeah, it wasn't my wife, for those people keeping tabs on my life. I love my wife. She's awesome, super smart. But yeah, so the faster you realize that, the better you're going to be building a company. Now, I've literally talked to thousands of people over the years, and they all say the same thing. It's, oh, I have a flexible schedule. I love working remotely. Oh, I can work from anywhere. Oh, I don't have to commute to work. Oh, I've got the ability to spend time with my friends and family. Oh, I can work from home in my pajamas. Bullshit. None of that stuff actually plays out because people haven't figured it out. You struggle with collaboration and communication because of the example I gave you. Can you hear me now? You're relying on the cellular networks and the internet connections to connect you. That's a variable you're introducing. I'm going to teach you how to avoid all that stuff in a minute, on the next video, not in this minute. The loneliness. When you're sitting in a room all day, staring at a screen, talking to people, it gets lonely. And sooner or later, people will realize that. You're also not able to unplug. Don't tell me this, oh, I'm spending more time with my family and friends. If I'm with my 3-year-old and I'm enjoying time with him, but I've got my phone in my hand and I'm just like watching my text messages and my emails and I'm responding to this and responding to that, what is that really quality time? Is that the time that you want to spend with your family? I don't think so. I get to work from home. Sorry, bullshit. There's so many distractions at home. There's your fridge, there's your TV, there's your family, there's your, if you live with your in-laws, your girlfriend, your dog, doesn't matter. There's so many of those things. And that doesn't give you the flexibility of working from home. You actually lose that flexibility because now you got to deal with other variables. And so then you got stuff like, once you work remotely, most likely, if you become a larger company, you're dealing with people in multiple time zones. You really think you've got control of your schedule if you're dealing with people in multiple time zones? No, guys, you're just planning around them. And that's the reality. So I'm going to talk you through these points on how to stop struggling with collaborating, communication, loneliness, not being able to unplug, distractions at home, being in a different time zone, staying informed, all that stuff. And it's all like really important that you prepare your mind for the things that I mentioned. And as you're viewing these videos and the rest of this channel, I'm dedicated to helping you eliminate those struggles to a path of working remotely and creating a very high net worth for yourselves. And so the lonely mindset, the sooner you accept it, the better off you'll be. And there are ways to combat that, which I've learned is you just need to plan and have the right tools, control your structure, all the things that I talk about in this channel, and you guys will benefit from that. So that's all I got to say. Have a great day. We'll see you on the other side.